Where was God? One of the biggest questions that has plagued Christianity in the view of humankind is the simple question, where was God? From 9/11 to the 2004 tsunami, the Paris attacks, Hurricane Katrina, fires, floods, and famines throughout time have raised the question and fed the doubt that leads many to everything from defiance to denial. Where was God? Loss of job, health, or life, death of a child, natural disaster, human cruelty, calamitous event. On any occasion where there is loss, anguish, and despair, we ask, where was God? If you do not believe in God, or if you do but choose to live in disobedience to Him, the answer to the question is simple. Where was God? Right where He always is. Where were you? How the many who refuse to believe or obey take it upon themselves to ask how God can be all-loving and all-powerful and not act in these situations, suggesting maybe He isn't all-loving or all-powerful, is not an unexpected idea, when even those of faith sometimes are at a loss for guesses. The simple fact is that the Bible assures us Satan is in charge of planet Earth. In the beginning, God gave dominion over the earth to humankind through Adam and Eve. They, in turn, rebelled against God, falling for Satan's trap, and giving dominion of earth over to him. The Bible also tells us we are either on God's side or on Satan's side. There is no neutrality despite what one may believe. If you are on God's team, a child of the kingdom, you enjoy certain protections. That doesn't mean nothing bad will ever happen to you, but it does mean nothing bad will happen to you that isn't A, approved by God, or B, useful for God in perfecting you and your character. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that all things work together for good, to them that love God, to them who are called according to His purpose." However, if you choose not to be on God's team, you are by default choosing to be a potential pawn for Satan to use in bringing harm to all of humanity at large. Tough to accept? Maybe. But if your choice is to deny God or live in disobedience, that's where you are. Well, God claims to love all people. How could a loving God send people He loves to hell for an eternity of torment? He doesn't. Hell is the ultimate monument to rebellion. Hell was constructed for Satan and those who rebelled with him against God. In fact, God so strongly wants humankind to escape hell, He allowed His own Son to pay the penalty and make a way for everyone to escape hell. If you go to hell, you go by your own choice, not by God's. He went far above and beyond, making a way of escape for you. So what about when bad things happen to believers? First off, let's understand what faith is. Very simply, faith equals trust. You either trust God or you don't. If you only trust God while things are good, but panic and worry when things get difficult, that is not faith. Fear not is how faith responds to difficult times. Consider Job, who said, "Though he slay me, yet I will trust him." Consider Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who said they would serve no other God, even if He did not deliver them from the fiery furnace. Consider Paul, who acknowledged whether we live, therefore, or die, we are the Lord's. It's not just good days or bad days, it's live or die. You have to trust God that far if you want to live a life of faith. Judging from what else Scripture has to say, one way or the other, death is going to happen. What better time to have God to trust in? Our problem is that we tend to be too concerned about worldly things and creature comforts. We do not want our characters built, our limits tested, or, God forbid, our comfort zone removed. When God pushes us, when He tests us, when things get difficult, He is building Christ-like character into us. He is refining us, and it may not be pleasant, to be certain. But He is far more concerned about our completion and eternal destination than He is about our temporal and temporary comfort. Where was God? Right where He has always been. But He is not content to leave you where you are, or to leave you who you are. Faith is a journey. When Christ said, "Take up your cross and follow," He didn't mean a piece of jewelry. He meant an implement of death. There is no Posturepedic cross. There is only death to self. Christ is not simply to be followed, but to be imitated.